Well, it's an exciting day for us here at 3News because our Senior Correspondent Lisette Reymer has written a book and it is all about what we do. It's called No, I Don't Get Danger Money, Confessions of an Accidental War Correspondent. And it covers Lisette's time as Newshub's Europe correspondent, including her 8 assignments into Ukraine during the Russian invasion. She sat down with me this afternoon and she told me about some of the stories behind the big story she covered for us, including the time she almost stood on a landmine in Ukraine at the war's front line.
A scary moment for sure, maybe the most terrifying of all our experiences. We were in the Far East and we were super motivated to get a good story, and I think that kind of had us a bit in tunnel vision, and we probably were taking risks we shouldn't have. I heard things really tense up behind me and I realised that the security officer behind me, I had just stepped over a landmine and he had seen it, and that kind of sparked just an outcry of concern.
And stop, everybody stop.
Stop. The Ukrainian man who was with us, who had been telling us and escorting us, he had been telling us it was safe. He couldn't speak great English. He could see all of the hysteria and the concern. And out of the corner of my eye, I turned around and saw him kick this landmine. And I can still feel the panic. It was just, like cliche, but because your life flashes and you're thinking it's over, we're done for. And I leapt on top of Daniel, who was filming, so he had his face kind of in a viewfinder, very focused, and I launched myself on top of him. Quite heroic of me.
Sounds like it.
Actually.
Yeah.
It didn't explode, and that was because this Ukrainian family had been back to their home after the Russians had left, got all of these leftover artillery and replanted it to intimidate the Russians if they were to return to...
And if they were to come back, they would think there are already landmines here, let's move on.
Yes, and they wouldn't want to go into that territory because it was dangerous and they don't want to get blown up.
But so you don't know any of this.
We don't know this. It was a real wake-up call because we were in an area that had a lot of danger, a lot of hidden danger.
In the book, you write about the 8 different trips that you made into Ukraine during the conflict. How did it change you?
The whole thing changed me in every way. It made me so much braver about everything. I mean, nothing is as scary now when, it's not going to kill you. If the worst that can happen isn't death, then I'm like, okay, great, we'll dive in.
The Turkey earthquake, this is 2023, 50,000 people were killed. Logistically, how do you go in and cover an event like that when the destruction is so widespread?
That was hectic in terms of getting to the epicentre. We were sleeping in the car, of course, which we were the lucky ones to have a car, but the aftershocks were that severe.
So you're reporting during the day and filming and doing live crosses, and then you get into your sleeping bags in the van at the end.
Yeah, it was really disgusting. That was the first time I was working with a new camera operator, Alex Parsons. It was a real baptism of fire for him because I was snoring next to him every night in a tiny little car, and we'd be editing in there all night, and then we'd kind of try and get some sleep before our next live cross, and I was using it as a weird makeup centre as well, and there was food everywhere. There were no bathrooms working. It was incredibly unhygienic. It was a really, really hard one to cover.
And then there's processing what has happened and the loss of life as well.
Yeah, which doesn't even begin until you leave and get home. And I think for us, all of our processing was delayed because we'd get back and something massive would happen again, and you never had time to stop and think.
You're just always running on adrenaline.
Constantly, and it's really, really addictive.
Of course, I saw you in London after the death of the Queen, and that 10 days of coverage. It was something that you were always prepared for, though?
It kept me up at night. Like, I had crazy flashcards that I travelled with that had facts about the Queen on them. In my handbag, everywhere I went. I never went anywhere without a black blazer. Like, I would take it on holidays with me, and then it would get dirty, and I'd have to take it to the dry cleaner and get it cleaned again. Never wore it because I was just waiting for the Queen to die and didn't want a dirty blazer. And it was actually, in terms of news, ideal timing for us. The presenter was introducing me and I saw this Iraqi journalist jump in front of my eye line, and he started going, she's dead, she's dead. Just in the perfect time, like right, probably 20 seconds before it was cutting to me.
But you're thinking, I'm not wearing the right jacket.
Oh my gosh, I turn around and on Buckingham Palace, the flag is going down to half-mast.
So you know it's happened.
So I said, okay, Queen Elizabeth II has just died. And then I swivel back, lunge for my black coat, pretty much knock off the light stand, grab my coat, start stripping off the beige one and then putting on the black one. And that's how the New Zealand control room pretty much got the news, and then they verified it on all the statements. But they saw me frantically
and then
taking
you're
off these
live
coats
seconds later.
Yeah, in the black coat.